Money, money, I love that money.
Lucas.
Money, 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 money. You don't really want to play. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. Money, 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 make you shut them off. Don't never ever talk about it if you never had the clout. You don't know what to say. Stay up out of my way. Cause money, 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 make you shut them off. Keep playing with the Goonies, boy, I'm gonna have to make the call. Stay in bounds on your pivot, boy, if you gon' ball. Cause a lot of niggas be fake, and you really can't play. Cause we done got it out the mud, nigga, what you talking about? Screaming, oh my God, money got me pride. They living a lie, look into my eyes, they might seem surprised. This is homicide, we just multiply. We been on the rise. If we got some wings, fuck it, we gon' have to fly. Money, 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 what I'm talking about. Day in my life, I take me a different route. Use all my case, niggas on my face. You can get it erased, what you talking about? Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. You never crossing these borders. I'm whipping it up, Gordon Ramsay. I swear that I'm cooking these orders. You talk about me, you better just hope that you can just really afford it. I'm ballin', I'm ballin', I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm feeling like Robert's a horror. Nigga, I'm sparring. I count in the morning. They talk about me, then I gotta ignore it. My bitches be foreign. So independent, my money be corporate. These rappers is boring. You hate me and I'm always gonna adore it. I'm smoking that soaring. She always go ahead and let me explore it. I call her my Dora. You can go and talk about me, I ain't flawless. I go put my all in. If a nigga talk about me, then I'm gone in. You know that I'm gone in. Jump in, take trips, Pompeii, all day, always keep 3 stacks like Andre. I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it, man. And you can never, ever, ever get rid of that. So watch what you say, and watch how you do. If you play the game, then you play by the rules. Money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you been talking about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. It's money, 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 money's what I'm talking about. We don't really know what you always been talking about. And I don't wanna be the one who always really talk about. And you don't really want to play. You don't know what to say. Cause money, 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 money's what I'm talking about.
That's right. It's Monday night. Sports on the Hill podcast. Excuse me. Starting the day off, starting the night off a little rough. It's been a rough week, but it's Victory Monday. Sports on the Hill podcast, True Radio Network, CP3, live from the lab coming to you for Victory Monday. It's been a while since we had one of those. We've had some ups, we've had some downs, but we have a good game to talk about. If you notice, we started a little bit later tonight, having some technical difficulties and some other things is out of our control. So we decided to start a little bit later. You know, it's kind of cool when you own the studio and own the network. You can go on whenever the hell you want. So that's what we decided to do tonight. Robbie G, how you doing tonight, good sir?
I'm doing great. Yeah, it's that's the benefit of owning the network, right? We have two studios. We've got live in the lab. We got live here in the man cave. We've got a groundbreaking Monday Night Football game to talk about for a moment. We've got a Victory Monday. We've got tons of NBA draft talk and free agency signings. One of the craziest openings to a free agency I've ever seen in the NBA, but we'll get into that in sort of hour two. So everything that we had kind of planned, we're just going to push back 15 minutes. But if you're listening to it on the audio podcast, then it's probably going to be about the same. But yeah, it was a good weekend with us getting the Victory Monday. I am super happy. I've got family in town for the holidays. I know you're not supposed to travel, but they did get tested for a medical procedure, so it's legit. And I'm happy the procedure went well today, and they get to then relax and stay here for the rest of the week and enjoy Thanksgiving with us as well. So yeah, I mean, that Victory Monday kind of came as a surprise to me. I honestly, but the key is both Hurt and I have to bet against them. If one of us doesn't do it, they'll still find a way to lose. But if we both bet against them, they'll find a way to win. So it just, that seems to be the key.
Well,
But Carol, you bet on them, and they won. So padding his lead in this pick'em.
well, I'm as you heard the cork popping on my bottle, I just poured me a drink because to me, after I went back and looked at it, unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to see it live. But I did go back and watch the whole game. And it was a decent game. I'm not. We're going to break it down in a little while. It wasn't a game that you can hang your hat on and say, "Hey, they played a great game for 60 minutes." But it was a decent game. It was played, better than what we've seen, and we saw the offense move the ball by running the ball, and we saw balance, which is something I know me and Dujanay are going to go into deeper with the play calling. Because I think that played a pivotal role, along with getting a lead, played a pivotal role in how this game played out, and the injury to the number one pick, Joe Burrow. And if you didn't get a chance to go check out the video, I did do a little video clip, had a little something in there, for some folks that might like it. It's got over 400 views on YouTube now, so go check it out. It's something I do in my spare time. iMovie is very, very advanced now, so I can do all types of things now. But we're going to get into more Redskins.
Oh, you've already broken it. No,
Whoa.
this is early.
How
this is
long
early
has it
here.
been since I said that on the air?
I know, you've been so good. I think you went
guess-
2 weeks without saying it.
Nah, it's been
Yeah.
more than a few weeks. Probably because I cracked that bottle a little bit before the show already, so that might have something to do with it.
Celebrated too early.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's been a rough week, Rob. Ever since my
Nice.
birthday, it's just been, whoo, boy.
I know.
43
But
has been a rough start, baby. So if you see the red cup, just know what it is.
Right. But it's but I'm excited for the Victory Monday. It was an interesting tale of two halves again. I mean, we'll get into it a little bit, and then we'll have when Dujanay joins us, we'll have him break down more of the X's and O's. But from the fans' perspective, I was kind of I was impressed. I was kind of upset in the first half. I'll put it this way: with the defense, I felt they were playing soft with zone coverage, and people were just picking them apart in the middle, and that was difficult to watch. I was happy that they were able to have some goal line stands and be able to, get some luck with some bad kicking, but they kind of bailed themselves out in the first half, and they kind of did okay and got themselves back in it. And then, missed a field goal but made a field goal on the other side, and it was sort of this weird score at halftime. But unfortunately, they knocked their quarterback out of the game, and it obviously changed their rhythm. And I don't want to say that was the reason we won the game, but the game seemed very different after that. And Obviously, we're going to have to get to the quarterback early and often in this upcoming game. We'll talk about Dallas week as well tonight. And it's going to be interesting. All four teams are tied with 3 wins, which is really bizarre. All 4 teams have a shot at hitting one of those top draft picks. And all 4 teams have a chance to make the playoffs and probably get bounced in round 1. So it'll be interesting to see how those next 6 games go, right? So we kind of have the last third of the season almost, and in those 6 games, I think if you want to win the division, you have to win the divisional matchup. So this game against Dallas and the game against the Eagles at the end of the season are the 2 most pivotal games of the 6. They're must wins if you want to win the division, and then you got to find a way to win 2 out of those other 4 games. And hope that that's enough, and it should be. I think 7 should be enough. 6 might be enough. But
well, like I said earlier, excuse me, I'm not really concerned about making the playoffs. I'm not even really concerned about wins at this point. I'm concerned about seeing progress, and if it's a hard-fought game, if they play a tough game, like you said, it was a tale of 2 halves. I don't feel like they didn't play in the first half. I just felt like they weren't in sync in the first half. And with the defense, they run a lot of zone based off the pressure they're figuring to generate with the front 4. But because of the lack of execution we've had in the linebacker department, there's leaving gaps in the running game and in the passing game. But if you look at the stats from this game, they held them to only 70 yards rushing, which is almost 50 yards less than what they normally give up. They gave a little bit more yards passing than they normally do, but that goes to test to the game plan they had with Joe Burrow and having him get rid of the ball quick. So the front didn't have a chance to get to him. You saw the difference when the backup came in there, who hadn't taken those first team snaps, and he was trying to figure things out, and they were able to get to him then. So it definitely did have an effect on the game. Not saying that if Joe Burrow was still in the game, it might not have resulted in the same thing. You never know. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but nobody ever knows. Hold up. My number's too high. I forgot to turn that back down. There we go. But I want to see progress, and I felt like we saw some progress this week. When I go over the I might as well go over the numbers now. We're waiting on Dujardin, so we can move along. I was sharing the show. But just looking at some of the team stats, I mean, they had 20 first downs. Third down conversions has started becoming a problem, like I always do in the pregame. They were still in the middle of the league in third down conversions, but this game they were only 4 for 13. They had 164 yards rushing, which is way above their average. So that shows that they stuck with the run. The run was successful. The offensive line, even with Morgan Moses at the left tackle, which who knew he would play that well at left tackle with all the, ailments and issues that he has on the right side. The left side is normally known as the tougher side, and I have to say, looking at the game, they only got 2 sacks all game, and he played pretty well on that left side. I don't recall he had any penalties, anything, and the interior of the line played well also, because towards later in the game they were bouncing things outside, and the way they would do that because they were pulling the interior guys to the outside to block those linebackers and those safeties. So it was definitely an interesting game to see the team coming. I was expecting Alex to throw the ball a lot like he did the week before, not saying 55 times, but he only threw the ball 25 times because we were talking about Scott Turner's game plan and his balance and the lack thereof. But he actually stuck with the run. Gibson almost had another 100-yard game. He had a 5.9 yard average. Alex was 17 for 25 for 166 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Interception was ball was batted at the line. Unfortunately that happened. They got the ball. So it wasn't one of those glaring ones like we saw, at the end of a couple of weeks ago. So it was a good performance for him, especially for him. You got to take your head off of his first victory in over 700 and whatever days. So, I know it feels good for him to get a victory, and it's going to give him some momentum going into this Dallas week on Thursday to the thing we talked about after the game before the bye when they played so well. We wish they could take that momentum into it the following week, but they had the week off, and we saw what happened. Now I want to see what happens on a short week with some momentum. How does this team react later on in the season after they went through that? Now, if we see a team that comes out there prepared and executes and plays, hopefully a whole 4 quarters, or at least 3 out of 4 quarters, and we don't see the offense sputtering. We saw them actually with a lead this past game. If we can see that, then I can say, okay, we're seeing some growth from this team. We're seeing all the stuff that Rivera was talking about. It might not be translating into wins, but we can see the team growing and getting better in certain aspects in this season, and I think that's very important.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. I definitely want to see some progress. I don't think I really care about winning a division that ultimately gets us bounced in the first round. I would like to see us sweep Dallas, though, this year. So regardless of, what goes on, I'd love to see the victory. I see Dujanet is coming on right now, so we'll get his thoughts on this game and Dallas week. But as you're saying, I'd like to see progress. It's going to be a tough game, though, because Dallas gets to be home on the short week, and then we've got to sort of get on the road and walk through. And now with all these COVID protocols and testing, there's only certain things that you can do now. And so I feel like there's definitely an advantage for a home team in a short week in this scenario. So they're just going to have to